Welcome to Art of Wellness Unscripted, the podcast where we dive deep into holistic health, real conversations, and the journey to living your best, most vibrant life. I'm your host, Amara Tiller, and each week we'll explore the art and science of wellness with inspiring guests, expert insights, and practical tips you can use every day. Today we have a new guest. Her name is Bonnie. Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, Amara. Thank you for having me. I'm Bonnie Dysinger, and I am a certified practitioner of esoteric healing and also an accredited teacher of esoteric healing. And esoteric healing is a form of energy healing modality, balancing energy of a person according to the will of their soul.
Love that.
So we bring the soul energy in. I'm just the facilitator. Their soul is actually the healer of their form.
Could you tell us what in your life happened that put you in this position of where you experienced this and what led like how it impacted you to decide that you wanted to start doing it?
Well, I had been different times in my life when I look back, I've been searching for like who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Who is Bonnie Dysinger? And this started at a young age, and then I would go for years and then it would come up again and come up again. And in 2006 it started coming up again like who am I? There has to be more to life than
Mm-hmm.
what I'm experiencing. And through a series of events that were difficult and challenging in my life, I found this little book about angels
Oh.
that I had read, and it talked about how to do angel readings. And so I flew to Sedona, Arizona to learn how to do angel readings. And there I learned about our chakras,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned about meditation and a very simple form of energy healing with the angels. And when I came back, I found a meditation group that I was going to every week on a Wednesday. And one of the leaders of the group had asked me if I was interested in taking an esoteric healing class. And I said, well, what's that? And so I registered for it. And it was taught by Dr. Barbara Briner. She was an osteopathic physician at the Institute of Bioenergy Studies in Okemos, Michigan. It was a mile and a half from where I lived,
Yeah.
very close. And so I had no idea what I was getting into, but I felt guided to go. And she was doing this presentation on the evolution of the soul. And she had diagrams on the whiteboard and talking about it. And it was like she was talking about my life, that this was the progress of my life. I could see different parts of my life and every evolution, every rays of consciousness that we were going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I just knew that this was my answer to um, finding out who I was. So, a lot of people come to it because they have a health crisis,
Mm-hmm.
but that was not my instance. Mine was trying to find myself and move forward in life. And this has been just such a gift to learn about who we are as spiritual beings. We can say that, and we hear different people talk about it, but there's a difference of being able to say it and really understanding why we can say that we are spiritual beings, having a human experience.
Yeah.
So everything I learned in the class, I went through the 4 basic levels, and then there was 4 advanced levels. Always got something deeper in discovery of who I am and understanding who I am, but also understanding other people and why they are the way they are and why they're different than I am and why they have different thoughts than I might have, or belief systems or challenges in life. So it was life changing,
Yeah.
life changing.
I love that. So you see clients, I'm assuming?
I do have clients. I do work with my clients all distantly. So I work from my home. They can be in their home or their office. They will call me we set up an appointment and they will call me, we'll talk for a few minutes, and then we hang up the phone while I'm working in their energy field. And then when I'm done, I call them back and share my findings. So if they can be in their space and sit and be relaxed, and if they want to lay down, if they fall asleep, that's okay. Or if they want to meditate, that's okay. Maybe they still need to work. That's okay
Mm-hmm.
too. It's not affecting
Okay.
what I'm doing or finding in their energy field.
Ooh.
And people often say, how relaxed and how peaceful they feel after a session.
Yeah.
And distance doesn't matter. I work with clients all over the world.
I love that. Yeah, I've experienced emotion code
Hmm.
um, with my holistic practitioner, and it's blown my mind so many times. Where afterwards, I felt so relieved, and I've never gotten relief from like talk therapy like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like people need to know there's other things out there that you can try besides talk therapy that can really help.
Yeah. When something's not working in traditional medical or therapy, that the issues in the energy field. And when you can balance that and get that energy to flowing, then change happens. I had a client several years ago that had come, she had been in therapy for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, she said, and on medication, and nothing was helping.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just one session with her, which isn't typical, but one session with her, and her life just changed. It was remarkable.
I love that. Yeah, my late father, he recently passed away last November, but before he
Oh, I'm sorry.
passed, I was able to sit in on a call with him where he got emotion code done as well. And he even said after that was more impactful to him than any therapy session he's ever experienced. And things came up that I never knew, and it just kind of makes everything make more sense. And yeah, so that's, if you don't mind sharing, what is the cost to have that session done with you?
The fee is $150 for a session,
Okay.
and usually I allow about an hour and a half. So we talk about 15 minutes in the beginning. I work with the energy for about an hour, and then 15 minutes for follow up.
Okay. And what does it look like when you're working with the energy? Are you doing it on yourself, kind of like how muscle testing can be done
No,
remotely?
no, I am. So esoteric healing is a hands-off modality. Even if someone was in person, we're not touching your physical body. We're sensing the energy around your physical body. So I'm just visualizing, imagining the person standing right in front of me.
Okay.
And so I'm working with their energy, and I may turn them to the left or turn them to the right, or
Mm-hmm.
be working from their back or facing me. It's just all imagination, the
Mm-hmm.
thought. And this process of energy follows thought is
Yeah.
so true.
Yes.
So true.
I love that. So it's the power of the mind, and you're basically allowing your imagination and whatever's guiding you in that to lead you to kind of figure out what's going on.
Right.
Okay.
So we haven't, with esoteric healing, we have this alignment process, alignment and attunement before we start a session, even where we focus on our heart, and then we just imagine a light going up to our soul light,
Mm-hmm.
which is 8 to 10, 12 inches above our head. So just imagine that light. And then from our soul light, we connect that light to source energy, or you may call it God or Allah, infinite light,
Yeah.
whatever your words are for that greater being. And then you bring that back down. And then we bring that light to our ajna, which is our in the area of our third eye. It's not our third eye, but it's in the area of it. And then we bring that light from our soul down to our ajna and then to our hands. And then from there, I connect my soul light with my client's soul light. And here's where we are asking permission of the client's soul to proceed with the healing or not. So the healing is always according to the will of the soul
Mm-hmm.
and their highest good. And if on very seldom occasion the soul says no, you have to honor that,
Yeah.
and just let the client know, this isn't the right time, because we don't know necessarily why the soul's saying no. Maybe it's
Hmm.
shy, but many times it would probably be that the client still has some sort of lesson that they need to work through, before the soul's ready to do it. I've done this work for since 2008. So how many years is that? 17 years
Yeah.
anyway. Um, and not more than a handful of times have I gotten a no.
Okay.
And typically, if we reschedule a few days later, then it's fine that we can proceed with the session. But it's very important ethically to honor that will of
Yeah.
this client's soul. Otherwise, you're bringing your own will into it and forcing that energy. And that's just not something as a healer that we should be doing.
Yeah. It's very similar with like muscle testing remotely in that way.
Hmm. So, part of the alignment process I will share with many of my clients, and I also have a little video of it on my website. But we can just focus on our heart center, and we can connect that light from our heart center up to our soul light, and then up to source. And
So,
then we bring it back down to our soul light and into our heart. And that's an alignment process.
so you and the client are doing that at the same time, am I
I,
understanding?
I tell them how to do it,
Okay.
just as kind of like a homework for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because that helps their spiritual connection. You may have heard of the Antakarana or the Rainbow Bridge,
Mm-mm.
which is it's a connection of our personality self to our higher self. And when we do that simple process, so from our heart, drawing a light up to our soul light, on up to source, and then back down, it's helping to build and strengthen that antakarana. It's like you're giving your soul notice that, hey, I recognize you, I acknowledge you. When we start looking up and connect to our soul, then the soul starts looking down and paying attention to us and helping us through life.
Have you ever heard of Kirkland photography, where they take a photo of your
Yes.
aura?
Mm-hmm.
Makes me wonder, like, if what someone's aura would look like before and after they did that.
Yeah,
Like, if
that
that
would
would
be
change.
interesting. Hmm.
Like, it probably would.
Yeah, but that's it's something real, just so simple and easy to do, and it doesn't take any time.
Right.
30 seconds. And so I like to advise clients to do this in the morning when they're waking up, do it again at night before they go to bed, and anytime during the day they just feel like they want a connection. Maybe they're standing in line at the grocery store,
Oh.
and you don't have to be in any particular place. You're
Yeah.
just making that connection.
So I need to basically feel light in my heart and then
Mhm.
feel the light move up about 12 inches above my head. And then where does it cycle back down?
Then from your soul light, so think about soul light. So
Yeah.
think this light in my heart,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm drawing this light on up to my soul light. And that soul light's going to be 8 to 12 inches above your head.
So it's just connecting me to the soul,
Right.
basically. Okay.
And then from the soul light, you connect it up to source or
Okay.
God, whatever words you use, the
Mm-hmm.
universe, and then bring it back down to your soul light and into your
Okay.
heart.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Because there's a higher energetic aspect of us than
Mm-hmm.
our soul, even that is more our truer self. If we've heard of the I am presence, our I am presence is actually our monad, which sends information to the soul, which the soul then sends it to our personality body.
Is there anything that you could maybe test for me on camera so people can get an idea, or is that not possible?
Of your energy.
Yeah, like anything to kind of give them an example of what this would be like
Okay,
by using
sure.
me.
Sure, I can do that. Do you mind if I stand?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I have your permission to do this.
Yes.
So I'm just going to talk through it. So I'm focusing on my heart center, and I'm drawing the light on up to my soul light. And from my soul light on up to source. And I bring that light back down to my soul light and into my heart. And then I connect my soul light to my ajna. So I'm bringing it from my soul light to my ajna here. And then I'm connecting from my heart center up to my ajna here. And then from my ajna, I'm bringing that light into both my hands. So now I'm aligned. And now I'm going to connect from my soul light to Amara's. What was your last name?
Tiller.
Tiller. So my soul light to Amara Tiller's soul light. And from Amara's soul light up to source. And so now I ask that healing be according to the will of her soul and her highest good. And then I just wait for permission from your soul to proceed. So now I have permission from your soul to proceed. And at this point in time is when I would invite in any of my spiritual helpers, guides, and angels to help with the session. Invite in your angels and guides to help with the session too. All right. And so then I'm going to assess your energy. And we always start with the solar plexus first, the home of the emotional body. And then we go to the basic center, sacral center, and the heart and the throat. Okay, so a little bit low in energy of the basic and sacral center, and a little bit more in the solar plexus, but more in the heart and the throat. So it's okay if I do just a little bit of balancing on you?
Absolutely.
Okay. So first I'm going to balance your ajna. And as I'm doing this, I'm holding points in your energy field, but I'm having a light from my ajna also connect to a point in your energy field. And this is creating a triangle of energy. Higher light and higher energy flow through the form of a triangle. That's a scientific fact.
Pyramid energy.
Pardon me?
Pyramid energy. Yeah.
And then now I'm going to balance your what's called the alta major, which is in the back of your head, the inflow of outflow of that. And then your crown. I'm going to balance your solar plexus. We balance the solar plexus first, the home of our emotional body. See, just after balancing your ajna, the energy is expanded out. That's a good thing. So balancing the solar plexus first, because it's the home of the emotional body, helps the client to kind of settle in, to relax into the session. So then the basic center. So the basic center still a little bit pulled in. So let's balance that. While I'm holding, sensing the energy in my mind, I'm thinking balance. I'm asking for balance. And this balance is always according to the will of your soul. So I'm thinking balance, and that's responding a little bit. So now I'm going to check the levels of it. So here's the physical etheric level, and I'm thinking balance. And then the emotional level. So I can sense that the emotional level's pulled in a little bit more. So there's something going on there. And the mental level's pretty good. Personality level, we have a personality energy body. And then we have a spiritual energy body. So the physical, etheric, and the emotional, especially the emotional, we're wanting the most help. So if you've got a lot going on, the basic center is about will and survival, feeling safe here. And you mentioned earlier everything that you're doing right now. So it could be your adrenals are a little bit tired, wanting some support.
The coffee doesn't help. Yeah.
And that, and then whatever emotional concept for that is. But asking for balance, it feels better. And then I'm going to move up to the sacral center. So that is much better as well after balancing the ajna. All the levels too. And the heart center. A nice full heart center. And then the throat center. A little bit of help on the emotional level of the throat center. And the mental level as well. So it's about speaking your truth. And the spiritual part of that is really good, the throat center and that. So it's about, working through challenges and that in life to be confident in your presentations and your voice and using your voice. I mean, look at what you're doing with your Art of Wellness podcast.
Yeah.
That's huge, bringing enlightenment information out to humanity. It's what humanity needs right now.
I love that. Yeah, this morning I had a situation where I had to basically speak my truth, right, and something that I would normally wouldn't, didn't feel comfortable. So it definitely resonates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I love that.
So when we do that, that's just balancing the centers, but we get into the endocrine system because the endocrine glands of the physical body work with the centers, and then their particular organs in the body and systems in the body work with particular organs. And we can, through training with esoteric healing, we can work with all of that. There's so many different levels. Right here, I just did the physical, etheric, emotional, mental, personality, and spiritual levels. But there's even more levels that we can go deeper into an issue if we're guided by the soul. So sometimes it's more surface, especially with a newer client, it might be more surface, just getting their energy starting to flow and letting them move into that. And then as you continue to work with a client, you're able to go deeper and deeper with it. It's normally not a one-time session because there's so many layers of us that need to be unfolded.
Yeah, it's kind of like layers of an onion. Peeling back.
Yeah. Clients will share, well, I'd like you to look at this or this, different things, and usually that's just right where we go. But there have been times when the client wants this, but I'm guided by their soul to go somewhere else that they didn't even recognize as an issue in their life. So you have to honor the will of the soul.
Yeah, it came in handy because I've had times where I felt like emotions, but I didn't know exactly what it's coming from. And I had a holistic practitioner do emotion code on me one of those times, and what she said, I couldn't believe it, but it made sense, and I felt so much better after that. That's when I was like, all right, I totally believe in this. Like, you can't argue with how, like, the experience that you're having from these sessions. And
one thing that's nice about working with the energy is that the soul guides you where to go. You learn just how to follow that guidance, but as you're working on freeing up the flow of energy so that soul light can come through, It's like we don't need to know what the issue is as a
Yeah.
practitioner. We don't need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Feedback that we give may make sense. It may not make sense. Some people want very detailed feedback of what went on, and other people that just the highlights in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I emotionally also I've been struggling. Like I mentioned about my dad, he committed suicide, so
Oh,
I've been really, especially lately, and I'm not sure why. Grief is an interesting thing. You think like over time it would get better, but it doesn't. But so I've had the energy healing. Like actually, I think it was like 4 days after my dad passed. I had pre-scheduled this appointment, not knowing he was gonna pass. And it was to get energy work done for the first time, and I felt like someone pressed a reset button on my nervous system. Like I
mm-hmm.
could breathe differently afterwards, and it just really hit me. I'm like, people need to know that this stuff is out there. It's gonna seem like it's woo woo, but once you experience it, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
There's levels of consciousness with the different energies that we work with. There's all kind of modalities out there. There's Reiki, there's polarity therapy,
Yep.
healing touch, um, therapeutic touch, es- prana healing, and esoteric healing is one of them. But our process is a little bit different, and um, because we're bringing in the light of the soul, and the light through our ajna to help facilitate the healing versus our hands.
I love that. Yeah, I feel physically I'm feeling better. I don't know if it's
Oh,
from, yeah, I felt way more relaxed as well through that because at first I wasn't. Um, but I do feel pretty good from that. So you mentioned that you do class, like teach people.
yes.
So is this something where you'll go somewhere if someone wants it, or do you have like a space that people can come to learn?
So right now I do all the teaching online.
Okay.
So the philosophy part is broken up into several videos that the students will watch and work their way through. At one point, when I lived in California, I was able to give continuing education units
Oh,
to
nice.
nurses and therapists
Yeah.
for it. But I don't have that again, I'll say yet. I'm hoping to, but they're set up for that. So there's some videos, they have quizzes that are just meant to help to reinforce what they're learning. They're not to try and set you up to
Right.
mess you up or anything. And then I have a classroom communication area. What did you think about that? Did you have any aha moments with that? Can you relate this lesson to anything that you've observed in your own life or someone else's life? So just some simple communication that goes back and forth. And this is all done by video. There's a span of, depending on the class, maybe 3 to 4 weeks that they are able to work their way through the videos, but they have to be done by a particular point before we start the practical application class. And the practical application class is where I actually teach you how to do the energy balancing, how to do that alignment and attunement process, how to bring your ajna into the session that makes a change, how to connect with those triangles, hold them, and asking for balance, and balancing them at the different levels, and how to follow the energy. What if you're finding an issue with someone's liver?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're balancing the liver organ. What does that mean if it's not in balance? Um, what might it mean to your client? What might it mean to you? Where do you go after that? So it's so cool.
I love that.
It's so cool. So we can work with all the organs and that in the body. We can work with neurocranial protocols. And it's like nobody needs to know anything about it, um, energy or anything about the anatomy to start a class.
Mm-hmm.
We teach all of that in class. But people who like the anatomy and really get into it, they can go so deep into it. I mean, you could go down to the cell level
Yeah.
and balance of a particular cell if you can be that focused at those different levels and help with healing.
Love that. Have you ever, makes me think of like I went to this yoga retreat a few years ago and they had all these different types of like metaphysical classes that you can sign up. And this is like the first time I was really introduced to any of this. But I feel like this would be something that you could, sign up for retreats and help teach people there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that could.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are you familiar with the naturopathic school that's up in Mount Pleasant?
I've heard of it.
That's where I go.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they have, maybe they teach that like further in the program, the naturopathic program, but
I don't think they do.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of it up until Rosetta said something about
Mm-hmm.
it, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. They also have, it's called the Elm, which is an old church that they bought, an old stone church that they have the energy enhancement system in there, but they also teach classes. It's mainly for people, not for like college, but for just like to learn, how to. And I feel like this would be something that would be really cool to be offered
Mm-hmm.
there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we should get you connected to that.
Yeah. So there's all different like devices that can help people nowadays and help take the pain away, help with the emotion in that. What is what is the soul though trying to tell you? One thing they don't do is bring in the consciousness of the
Yeah.
soul in
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, I love that. I want to learn now.
I just had a part one class start on August 23rd, so we're doing that right now.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, I'm like
You know,
maybe in October.
when I decided to excuse me, become a teacher, it's like as a practitioner, I can help one person at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But as a teacher, I can teach multiple students who can go out and
Yes,
help multiple people.
I love
So
that.
it kind of expands the work.
Yeah. Cute. Okay, I'm thinking about like hosting kind of like a wellness tea party women's event, right? So I would love to have like something like you offer. People come and for to help introduce to other people what that is like, and yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we could teach them a very simple way
Yeah.
of balancing their energy. I mean, if I've said several times, I wish I knew this when I was younger for my children.
Oh wow.
My children are both grown now, and they will call me different times, Mom, will you work on me?
Yeah.
And I do, but if I would have known this when they were younger, I could have
Helped a lot.
just helped so much more from earaches,
Yeah.
test anxiety, just balancing their energy is so helpful. It's so helpful.
It is.
And with kids, it, they're pretty easy to work on because they don't have all the influences of
Yeah.
things, challenges that we've had when by the time we get to adulthood.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. I have a 13-year-old son, and I have gotten emotion code done on him one time. That like kind of broke my heart because he was like really sad about something and that, and it came up, and he was at school when we did it.
Oh,
Yeah. But so maybe that was,
but it provided a level of healing.
yes. Yeah.
Level of healing.
Yeah.
I work with a group of, there's 7 of us of trained esoteric healing practitioners that we offer free group esoteric healing sessions, usually twice a month. People have to register for them, but when they're registered, then we have them in this group, and then we work on the group energy and balancing them. And we get some amazing feedback from people who have participated. And so, anyone who's interested, they can send me an email at bonniedysinger.com, and I can put them on the email list for when the registration form comes out. Or they can check and get it on the email list for NAEH, which is the National Association for Esoteric Healing, and it's naehonline.org. and they can sign up for their emails in those free group healing sessions are on the class list that are sent out. I think they're sent out weekly.
Nice. I love that.
So, and people don't, they're 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time on a Thursday. And so people are at work. They can continue to work. Some people, if they're home, maybe they sit down and relax. It only takes 30 minutes. We start at 2 and we're done by 2:30. So it's not a lot of investment of their time, but it does make a difference.
I love that.
Even if people don't realize it's making a difference, it does make a difference
Yeah.
because their soul has been involved.
I love that. Absolutely. You'll have to send me like any website you have, and I'll make sure I link it in the description for the video so that people can easily get access to you if they
Okay,
like
it is on my business card there.
perfect.
So
We'll use that. Well, thank you for coming into the podcast today. We'll have
yes,
to have you back in the future. It was so nice meeting you.
nice to meet you too.